Okay, let us begin. 3 years ago, Meng began depositing $1,800 at the beginning of each month into an account. The interest rate was 3.34% compounded monthly. Answer the following questions and round all answers to 2 decimal places where necessary. All right, so let's start with this depositing. It's at the beginning. So here we should choose the begin mode. All right, so that takes care of that. Now for PY and CY, we're looking for the compounding. So here it says the interest rate was 3.34% compounded monthly. So that means that CY is 12. Now for PY, we look for the deposits. The deposits are made at the beginning of each month. So therefore, PY is also 12. Now N, we'll use the calculator to compute that value. IY is, of course, the 3.34% right up there. So we'll insert that value or input that value there. Now, it was 3 years ago that Meng began depositing. So we are looking for the future value over here. So that is what will be computed. The present value at that time, meaning 3 years ago, was indeed 0. Now the payments are these deposits of $1,800 each. So we can input that 1,800, and if you wish, you could also put a negative sign to indicate that the money is leaving our possession. All right, so with that information, we can start to do the question. So let's start at the beginning here and input the begin or get into the begin mode by clicking on second PMT. It's in end now, so we'll set it into the begin mode by clicking on second, enter, and there we have begin, and there begin displays in the top right corner. So let me quit that mode by clicking on second CPT, and we're back to the normal mode. So now we're inputting these 2 values of PY and CY. So we go second IY, and then I go 1, 2, enter, and that's the value for PY. Now that will also be automatically the value for CY. So I don't need to input a value for CY because it is the same. So I will quit out of that mode. And now to get in, what do we have to do? Well, we have to find out how many years. So it was 3 years ago. So therefore, we have the number of years is 3. So 3 second n. So n turns out to be 36, which is 3 times 12. That is where the 36 is coming from. Now we'll input the 3.34 for the interest rate. And there we are. The present value is 0. That is the beginning amount. It is 0. So 0 present value. The payment is $1,800. So 1800 negative. We can put it in as negative for the payment. And then we compute the future value, and it turns out to be $68,247.62. All right, good. Now, if Meng stops making deposits, what does that mean? Well, it means that the payment is now 0. Previously, it was $1,800. Now it will be 0. All right, how much will be in the account in 3.5 years from now? The interest rate remains the same, 3.34% compounded monthly. Okay, now this future value that we computed will become the present value for this phase of the calculations. All right. So there we are. So this number has now been inserted in here. Now on the calculator, we should click on present value to input it directly. Now PY is still 4 and PY is 12 and CY is 12, which was as previously indicated there monthly. So it still remains monthly. Up here it was 3.34 compounded monthly. So it is the same. All right, and we'll leave to be calculated using this 3.5 years. And IY still remains 3.34 as it was above or as is stated right here. Okay, so now we can do our computations and we will be computing the future value. Okay, so let's begin. So PY and CY are 12 already, which is what is in there. We can just check, then I will quit there. And now the N value, we use 3.5 years. Okay, so 3.5 is the same as 3.5. 3.5 second NN. So N turns out to be 42. IY is still the same value of 3.34, so I could just go and recall IY. There it is, 3.34. And of course, this value, the previous future value up here, should be the present value down here. So if I recall that present value, and there it is correct, $68,247.62. Now I have to put 0 for the payment, so 0 payment, and then I compute the future value, and there's the future value. So it is $76,698.35. All right, so hopefully all of that is correct, and I can check my answer or answers by submitting, and all of the answers are correct. Okay, so there we are, and the question is complete.